Heading into map number 3 is Purgatory, baby.
Absolutely right. Water circle, please don't come visiting today. I do not want to see anyone take a swim, but every single flight path has been absolutely generous to the squads. Smack dab in the middle of the map once again, from Crossroads all the way down towards Fire Brigade, opening up the whole of Purgatory for them to dance on.
And I think it is a very good time, it's an apt moment to talk about Expand so far, because they are a very tactical team. That's what we saw in both Bermuda and Kalahari just now. But I want to specifically touch on Cobra while we have the time to do so. Cobra is ranked 3rd in terms of average kills and knockdowns, and this might just be the test for them.
This is gonna be one hot drop at Brasilia. Expand cannot afford to lose. But the saving grace here is Team Flash has not been super flashy, but they are a team that can hold their own. 11 points in the first game, 8 points in the second game. The saving grace here is Team Flash is a team that focuses on placement points more than eliminations. Team Expand super aggressive. You do the maths. Expand should be the ones who rise above and win this initial bout. But it's all about who gets lucky with the loot.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think these two teams have the same tactical approach to most of the rounds that they play.
Yeah.
The advantage that Expand has is that they have someone reliable from that long range. Axel was feeling it in game 2, and if you give him that space to work with, I think Flash is going to struggle if they end up fighting against each other.
Expand knows exactly what to expect here. They have spotted a couple of players on the side of Team Flash who are all huddled up together, but we hop on over towards Central and we take a look at Hotshot Esports as they continue running around. Nobody else is here to ask big questions off of them, so they are going to complete looting up this compound first. Expand not executing the exact same strategy as map number 1 and 2 makes me question exactly what they've got in store for us for Purgatory. But the way they've set themselves up looks like there's not going to be a lot of traveling to be done, but they have to deal with Flash first.
And you can feel the tension, right? Team Flash, they're kind of making their move in towards Expand. You see this very spread out maneuver from Team Flash to trying to box Expand in this compound, but Axel is ready, and I think he will be the first one to receive contact.
Yeah, Shin backing away. Axel repositions. Roy jumps in together. Roy, what a good time turner. Bounces that nade right off. Axel hops on in, but Yan Bin with the double revolver manages to take him down. But no elimination coming through just yet. Roy, can he respond? Has got the SMG in hand and knocks down Yan Bin instead to trade him out instantaneously. Cobra down on the ground. Roy gets one expanded in the 9th spot.
And Team Flash is doing that in the best possible fashion. We talk about how Team Flash love to be strategic, and they might not have that long-range advantage, but what they have over Expand is close-quarter combat. They are incredibly sharp with their shots, and we saw how they corral Expand into one single building and pick them apart with surgical precision. This is just phenomenal performance from Team Flash.
And this is the weakness of taking a hot drop, because you don't really get to aim for the guns that you want. Clearly, the players on the side of Expand did not have the necessary loot available to them to deal with the kind of aggression that Team Flash brought on into that fight. Each and every single team member on the side of Flash picking up a single elimination to their name, and they will be able to continue on to the next circle. Expand, as they are stopped in this 3rd round, they will most definitely struggle in the overall leaderboard. Now it's up to Magic Squad. How much are they going to be able to pick up from Purgatory to dominate this leaderboard and put some real space between them and the other teams?
That also resonates with this whole idea of being consistent, right?
Yeah.
Even though we don't see Magic Squad or Naguara Esports on that kill feed just yet, we know that they are still in the game, and that's what they have been doing for the first 2 rounds as well. So when we switch our attention over to Evo's Phoenix, that kind of gives us a very polarizing contrast, because both Bermuda and Kalahari have been absolutely a tragedy for Evo's Phoenix. They bombed out first in the first map, and they didn't make it far on Kalahari as well. This time, we see a safer start for this team.
3 points in Bermuda, 6 points at Kalahari, for a total of 9 for the ex-champions of the Free Fire World Series 2021. 2022 at Sentosa, they tried their very best, but it was an absolute upset as AAA managed to sneak the championship away from them with a single point, Husky. I mean, talk about a heartbreak, man.
Yeah, that is crushing. But when you look at where they are right now on home soil, this kind of means different, right? There's so much more pressure. There's so much more on the line. It's all about the pride, and not just trying to get back into the finals, but also doing it on where you're most comfortable the most, where people know you the best. And I want to pull out some numbers for Evo's Phoenix, because if we compare Get High to a lot of these players on that battlefield, he doesn't really have the best stats. And these numbers, for context, are all taken from their Masters finals or their respective league. For example, MCPS would be a Challenger Series finals. And Get High, honestly, is not even in top 5.
Yeah, in order to get qualified, this team wasn't the most aggressive out there, but they had a good percentage of eliminations, right? About 10% of the total eliminations throughout the whole league, it went to Team Evo's Phoenix, and it managed to get the job done for them. But where they truly excel is when it comes to those placement points as well. They always try to find that final circle. They always try to get that podium finish for themselves, and that's something that EVOS needs to focus in this game as well, because clearly placement points weren't their strong suit in the past 2 matches, albeit they did manage to pick up, I think, about 4 or 5 points from Bermuda. It's just nowhere near enough.
Yeah, just not even sufficient. I mean, if by that standard, you would feel a bit upset, a bit disappointed of what the numbers have shown us so far. But I think this also correlates to a conversation that we had behind the scenes, where we talk about how teams are just generally more aggressive by nature. We talk about Magic Squad, pretty aggressive. Naguara Esports, very aggressive. Infinity VX, absolutely aggressive. And Evo's Phoenix does the same, but the risks that they take are generally higher. And when you run these high-octane playstyles and you butt heads with other regions that do the same, you have to be really confident that you can win those fights. And so far, Evo's Phoenix have not really shown us that confidence. It felt like they were holding back a bit, or they were making these really minute decisions that caused them to fall in the past 2 rounds.
Yeah, but Infinity VX, we haven't seen the aggressive side just yet, right? They purely play placement points for both of these past matches, managing to pull away 6 placement points and 9 from Kalahari, 6 from Bermuda. And in terms of total eliminations from the 2 matches, they've only got 2. So I'm waiting to see some of that aggression from Infinity, because if they don't start showing up, they are going to get drowned out. Although those were solid placement points, not picking up eliminations has managed to punish them. They currently sit down in the 7th spot on the overall leaderboard, which has to hurt. Thankfully, one good solid booyah from Infinity can get them bounced right back up.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a reason to that, which I'll get into later when we get to look at Infinity again. But for Magic Squad, this is a team that has been consistent through and throughout. But when we look at Brazil itself, when we look at that local league, sure, you can argue that Heat absolutely dominated them with more than 60 points in differential in the finals of their local league. But that also means that Magic Squad is forged in fire. That's why the first 2 rounds have been so consistent for them. They didn't need to have a single booyah to be in first place, at least temporarily. But maybe Infinity VX can now get aggressive.
Yeah, we talked about Infinity and their aggression, and it looks like Gartel brings on the M79, the grenade launcher in hand. Evo's Phoenix about to bite that dust potentially up to AWM, but it's just way too close to play that sniper right here. Jonah with the left-hand side flank. God Cruz joins the squad as well. Evo's Phoenix setting up this defense, and a good ice grenade will force them off of their positions. Infinity has to move now, but the whole squad of Evo's Phoenix, all they need is one good lob grenade to take out the whole squad of Infinity.
And Gatel has that grenade launcher, and Infinity have the numbers advantage. Moshi needs to survive in the long range. They swing the corner. Jonah saves his buddy, but Gatel has gone and Get High with the grenade launcher. They need a bit more from Evo's Phoenix's side. Infinity, they're running out of health, and Evo's Phoenix now are going straight for the jugular. Those glue walls will not stand for long. What have you left in the tank, Gatel? Can you keep the team alive? That grenade lob will not do so, and Evo's Phoenix finally survives.
Yeah, unfortunately for Gatel, he just could not pop those players, and we were talking about how Infinity was going to get taken out of the equation because everybody just stacked up beside each other, making it so much more easier for Evo's Phoenix to get that double elimination earlier on. The tag from those grenades, that grenade launcher from the side of Evos, just too much to deal with. But Evos has got no time to take a breather at all. They spot Naguara from afar, and they take the shots at them. I don't think that's the smartest of ideas, because you're just pulling more attention to yourself right after bouncing out of a fight you can't deal with.
But I feel like Evo's Phoenix a lot more confident after that win. They have a compound to work with. They're not really pressured by the circle as of this point. Huge credit to Jonah for really saving Mochi, because that was the guy that is keeping Infinity at bay with those long-range support. And with Infinity out of the equation, Evo's Phoenix will have a better time with more space to work with. same can be said for Flash, right? Team Flash, they have a vehicle to work with. They have that high ground to kind of be perched on top and get a good view of what is happening. This is purgatory after all. The round isn't really decided until you see where that circle ends up in that on that fifth phase. Now it's only phase number 2. These teams have a lot more space to breathe. One
of the most important things to hold on to in a game at Purgatory is the vehicles, man. I mean, a lot of ground to cover out there. Magic Squad clearly has got the idea in here. 4 vehicles in their hands, and Magic Squad should be able to buzz and weave around all of the battles right up ahead. But Naguara looks like this is going to be a Grand Theft Auto setup for them. They want those vehicles, or do they want the circle? Because 2 players have already rotated towards the next circle. 2 more are left in this open compound here, taking pot shots at the Magic Squad.
Magic Squad shouldn't feel too pressure, right? They have enough vehicle and enough mobility to kind of just maneuver into that blue zone and cut right across Naguara. There's no pressure for them to make any reckless move at all, and that's exactly what they will do. So Naguara will miss Magic Squad, and that gives them their own tiny space to work with. You know, they have a purchase point. Team Flash, though, on the other hand, gets to gatekeep Hotshot Esports.
Shin, AC80, hot shot, smart play with the glue walls, very well timed, and they get to jump on into a small compound for themselves. Question is, where will the next circle bring all of us? For the time being, Hotshot gets to survive and they continue rotating on in. Flash, on the other hand, they want to meet them halfway, but Magic Squad might just be the difference maker. This is the unintentional third party that Magic Squad can pop here to upset both of these teams.
Shin is about to make contact, and this is going to kick off a 3-way fight for sure. Team Flash, they felt like they need to do something at this point of time. Shin has already exposed himself. First target and the first point of contact is going to be Hotshot Esports. But Team Flash, they need to somehow find some cover because Hotshot Esports, they are so good in maneuvering the building that making sure that Team Flash doesn't even get within the proximity of this building.
One nade can do Yanbin in. The distance is perfect. Anas with the woodpecker in hand backs away towards the edge of this window. He's trying to look for that shot onto Yanbin. Needs to get one good accurate one. Mother Nature helping give them a little bit of cover as well through those trees. And Magic Squad continuously tagging them up. But look at this. Hotshot, long rotation around. They want to get that backstep onto Magic Squad. If Hotshot pulls this off, it's gonna be huge, Husky.
They have left Team Flash off the hook for now, but they might get punished. And Magic Squad, they are seeing this happen right in front of their eyes. Hotshot will opt to just cut right through Magic Squad to play it safe, but Drax was able to catch the straggler. Sergeant gets knocked down, and now Magic Squad, they pounce on Hotshot. Italo is on the ground. This kind of levels out the playing field. Hotshot Esports able to bring Sergeant back up. They now have the numbers.
Magic Squad thought they were gonna be that supreme third party, but instead now 2 teams taking those shots against them. Hotshot the distractor, and Flash the ones eating them up from the back, and it looks like the Magic Squad are left high and dry. No more pixie dust in their hands, but GU saves the day. Sika taken down. Magic Squad still surviving this with the breath of a hair. Anas runs up top with the Charge Buster in hand. They now need to camp it out first as they heal themselves, and the Hotshot Squad, they just need to play this a little bit more slower because Magic Squad does not have the advantage.
Magic Squad smell blood. You can see that they are circling the building. They know that Hotshot Esports cannot get out of this, and it's only a matter of time before they clean up the team from represent Pakistan. And it's going to be a bit hard for Hotshot Esports in this situation because it feels like you're on an island and there's just a bunch of sharks circling around this terrain. Magic Squad not hesitating at all, not shy to just camp around, set up camp, and making sure that Hotshot Esports can get out.
RRQ, full squad revival. Drax can be the difference maker. If he can lob a couple of nades in towards that second floor. Anas, does he eat it up? Nope. That one goes a little bit wide. Drax with 3 more left to his side. EVOS Phoenix on the other hand. They meet with Team Flash. Earlier on, that lower ground was a disadvantage for Team EVOS Phoenix in Bermuda. Will it be the same here at Purgatory as well? Brian with his foot exposed. Get high. Can't sneak a shot in with that AC80 just yet.
Yeah, unfortunate knockout for Legolas. He just revived and he spawned right on top of 2 teams.
Yeah.
under heavy fire. RRQ not really having the best time, but Hotshot Esports still holding the fort. And Magic Squad, they are not budging. They really want to get rid of Hotshot Esports to secure a decent place in this area. But the kill feed is lighting up with Evo's Phoenix finally turning up the key. The grenade launcher in the face of Bio, who denies the but it does not matter. God Cruz secures the last elimination. 6 points for Evo's Phoenix so far.
Good elimination for Evo's Phoenix. They are looking for the jugular. They're looking for that booyah. Question is, can they get to the end? Magic Squad still in the scrimmage against the players of Hotshot. What a shot from Yakol. That headshot takes Roro straight off his bench. NG, final survivor for the side of LGDS. One vehicle in hand, but he will make way too much of noise with that. All he can do is just play possum and try to hope and pray nobody finds him.
Magic Squad, they are still waiting on this first floor, and with this circle not in their favor, it's either going to be Hotshot Esports or Magic Squad at this point. I think Hotshot Esports will feel a bit more pressure to make that initial move. As Razor, he's just gonna have to pray that no one finds him. He's on the same roof where Hotshot Esports and Magic Squad are at.
And now Evo's Phoenix, they take over as the kill leaders of this lobby.
The last 3 teams are all in the same place.
Hotshot up top, hops on down. Evo's Phoenix from across. They can be the perfect damage dealer for that final battle, but why do they need to move? They've got the circle. Hotshot still scrimming off against Magic Squad. RRQ, Kazu down below. Hasu, final survivor. Is this going to be the perfect backstab? Misses the opportunity. And look at Evos. They're eating everyone from across.
They are just feeding into the machine of Evo's Phoenix right now, and this seems to be a done deal before the round even ends. GU has nothing left. Evo's Phoenix on home ground scores the very first booyah.
What a comeback for the Thai Titans. They want the title for sure, but they gotta get into the top 4 by the end of the day, and this is a good way to play it. A massive round for Evo's Phoenix, and as we can see, not a single round dominated by one team throughout, but Magic Squad with that magical consistency is gonna keep them alive and kicking in this battle.
And that's what you and Holler wanted from the very beginning of the show. You wanted to come down not just to the tiebreaker, but also down the very last room of the tiebreaker. We want Alpine to decide who goes into the finals tomorrow. But for Evo's Phoenix, this is a phenomenal display of what former champions look like.
D Lung looks like my little brother. His mustache is slightly lesser grown out. I'm his big brother. I've got slightly longer ones on my face. Get high, manages to step up once again for the squad, and God Cruz alongside Jonah. You know it is all about that Moshi play as well. Initially, they kept this guy surviving, and that was crucial because Moshi was the damage dealer in that initial engagement.
Yeah, and with that being said, we're going to take a look at the highlights of game number 3. Phenomenal game number 3 for Evo's Phoenix. The superstars, the one that are back for the throne, that has to play through the gauntlet of planes. It's not an easy journey, but round 3 is giving us some bit of hope.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of hope for the Thai fans, for Evo's Phoenix to bounce right back into the competition. And it was not a lucky booyah for themselves. It was not one that was taken easily. They had to work hard for it. Massive numbers of eliminations on the side of Evo's Phoenix to jump right back into the fray. And with the saving grace of having Expand kind of expire a little bit earlier, keeps the competition alive, makes the work for Evo's Phoenix a little bit easier as well. But once again, it's Magic Squad that's going to do a number on everyone with their consistency.
I think for Evo's Phoenix, the first team that they went up against was Infinity VX.
Yeah.
And I did say that I want to talk about Infinity VX when we have the space to do so, but just know that the numbers when you compare both Evo's Phoenix to Infinity VX, it was kind of heaven and earth. Evo's Phoenix just had the numbers from the get-go, and Infinity VX, with their aggression, didn't really do what they wanted to do. Let's take a look at the standings in a bit, because I do think that when we look at the numbers You said that Magic Squad is going to be at the top. I do agree. And we're going to find out right now. Evo's Phoenix, at least for this match, have done absolute wonders. 26 points. No one even came close.
No one came close in this matchup. They beat the record of RRQ Kazu for sure, but they have not matched up to the record of 28 points on the side of Expand. Evo's Phoenix. That being said, though, this was a massive round for them after they bombed out back-to-back at Bermuda and Kalahari. Team Flash stepping it up as well on their side. A total of 6 eliminations makes sure that Team Flash is fully awake in this matchup. We're talking about a total of 4 eliminations from the first 2 matches combined. So this was a massive round for Flash. Naguwara maintains that consistency. This is one of the teams that you had your eyes on, Husky, and they're getting the job done just like Magic Squad.
For how round 3 turned out, I say that this is just good enough, right? You are kind of in the same spot as both Hotshot Esports and Magic Squad, especially when you have shown such good performance in both Game 1 and Game number 2. But let's take a look at what the overall standing tells. This story is going to be a bit compelling, but just like what we expected from Magic Squad, still in first spot with 45 points. And Expand, despite a very underwhelming round number 3, still clings on to second place, tied with RRQ Kazu.
We talked about the aggression of Expand, and we can see that aggression has helped them kind of stay up in the high ranks, even though they expired a little bit too early in this third matchup with the 36, but they cannot take advantage of that. They really need to kick it into high gear. This is a team that winds up slowly, but they do not have time here. They only have a few more matches left. In fact, just 5 games. RRQ Kazu, they did not bomb out too early like Expand. They managed to get an extra 4 points for themselves, which keeps them up to speed with Magic Squad as well. One solid good game with an additional 10 points can put them in that number 1 spot. But look at Evo's Phoenix, man, from nowhere now into the 4th place.
And it's safe to say that Evo's Phoenix have finally joined the battle. They've finally entered the ring in full form, and we have to marvel at Moshi, the MVP of map number 3. 5 elimination with the M82B. Just absolute sublime support. When we take a look back, that fight between them and Infinity VX, it was Moshi who kept Evo's Phoenix afloat, and it was Moshi who enabled the squad to not only take down Infinity VX and survive, but also make it to the end of the round.
And props to Evo's Phoenix as well, because Moshi almost got taken out of the equation very early on by Infinity, but they backed him up, right? It's not just about getting those elimination points, it's also about making sure the 4 players on your side are standing tall. And all 3 top players from Evo's Phoenix, what about that? 5 eliminations through the name of Moshi with the M82B. AC80 action from the one and only Get High. Jonah steps up as well with a shotgun Mag 7. Look at the difference in terms of the guns that they hold on to. Long range, they've got it covered. Close range combat, they've got it covered. Team Phoenix is ready for battle.
I feel like I'm entering a candy shop, because every one of Evo's Phoenix has a different assortment of weaponry that they perform well on, but we also have the key players off of game number 3. We have Nagara Esports Yeko with 8 Glue Wall Destroy with that Riptide Rhythm. We have Team Flash's Shin. 13 glue walls erected in that round.
And of course, you've got Drax as well, blocking a total of 979 damage out of that Kronos' Time Turner, and the king of assists, the one and only Brand from Naguwara, a total of 4 for his side, so that Naguwara can continue picking up those elimination points and climbing up to the top. And you know, this was a phenomenal round overall for all of the teams, but Magic Squad has not had that magical run just yet. They're just purely maintaining their position with consistency, not doing too much, surely not doing too little. I'm still waiting to see them pick up a massive booyah for themselves, but that's going to be the question. What happens when they kind of kick it up a notch?
Yeah, and I think there are plenty of rounds to do so, right? We have 5 more left to go, and just to refresh the memories of everyone out there, what is going to be our next map? We are heading to the snowy peaks of Alpine, the map that has been added as the new addition to our competitive pool right now, and has made so much waves. So many teams have picked out Alpine and decided that that is where they want to set up shop, and Expand happens to be one of them.
Stage is empty. The teams are taking a quick short break before we hop on into Alpine. Everybody's geared and ready to go. And you know, we saw Expand kind of expire a little bit too early in Purgatory. At Alpine, everybody needs to be very careful of this MCPS squad, because they really know how to maneuver around. They really get super aggressive. In fact, this is one of their massive maps where they've picked up a lot of points for the qualifier for this stage. But they are not going to be the only ones that runs that map, are they?
Yeah, absolutely not. I think when we talk about a map like Alpine, you have to start looking at teams that love to play that late game. And one of that team, aside from Expand, is RRQ Kazu. Late game masters, they don't really put too much pressure on themselves when it comes to the early rotation. It's all about stocking up enough resources to get to that 6th and 7th circle, and that's why RRQ Kazu is such a menace if you let them survive that long.
And I think the biggest difference in Purgatory was RRQ Kazu just could not get the drop in towards the middle part of the map as securely as they wanted, because if you see Bermuda as well as Kalahari, that was the standard procedure for RRQ. Drop into the center of the map, stay there as long as possible. Circle follows you, you're a happy man, you're a happy squad. But in game number 3, it just didn't go their way. They had to rotate, and rotating, it's not just the weakness of RRQ Kazu, it's just how the lobby is built, Hassan.
And we've seen some of these examples where teams love to hold a central spot and the circle kind of determines where they go. And this makes it really hard for a team like RRQ to play consistently without the late game, but that is good still be changed. Next round, we're gonna come back after a very, very short break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in a bit.